It's interesting because I use the 7 out of 10 reference when it comes to when you're out there playing. Is my level of confidence right now 7 out of 10 or greater to pull this off? And if it's not, it's time to consider a different shot.
Yeah.
All right, big fella. So I'm working on hitting low draws. Got away with that one. Came out quite nice. In this Texas wind as we're experiencing right now, this is going to be something that I'm going to need in a performance setting, right? And let's say I'm quite proficient at hitting low fades due to my general swing pattern, that sort of low, powerful draw, which I managed to pull off there. Like, sure, I did it, but I was also just reacting to the previous one that didn't draw. How would you go about instructing players that are working on certain elements of their golf swing and managing the difficulty of taking what happens here on the range so they can actually apply it out on the golf course of what really matters there? Now, do you have a certain drill or sequence of exercises that you get players to do?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is predictability. And everyone's heard it, right? I was striping on the range, and I go on the course, and it's not showing up. I would argue you weren't really striping on the range.
Yeah.
You hit some good, and you hit some exactly how you're hitting it on the golf course. So yes, I like to do 10-ball sets. Let's say that, what club do you have there, 7-iron?
Yeah, this is 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with a 7-iron, you would have an intent, just like if you were playing, I want to hit a low draw into this wind. I would do a 10-ball set where I'm evaluating of those 10, how many of them did I like? And that's going to be a very subjective thing because for a player of your caliber, you're going to have very high standards as far as the contact, the low point, the trajectory it came out with. Did it start right of target? Did it curve 5 yards? Or if I'm an 18 handicap, as long as the ball was relatively solid, I'm probably not that worried about the height, and it's curving slightly left, even if it's on the green, I probably don't care. So that level of happiness, it may be all over the place. For you, I think it'd be a pretty high standard. So as you hit this one, let's set some benchmarks. What would those be in your mind?
So for me, I would say start line would be right of the outcome that I want to achieve. And what I would feel like is a controlled draw, not an overdraw.
Yeah, which is tough with the wind the way it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're exactly right. If you were going to play today here, you would not want a lot of curve.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So
if just for a player to be happy with the shot, it's not always right by the flag or on the green. If you're hitting a 7-iron, plus or minus 7 or 8 yards from the target would be a very good shot.
Yeah.
And so you as the player need to be aware that not looking for perfection in these shots, but yeah, if I hit that while I was playing under pressure, playing with my buddies, I would like that shot.
Yeah. So
let's see if you hit one and you like it.
So for me, going through this, a big part of this now, based on my expectations as a player, would be I need to go through my full pre-shot routine rehearsal because I'm going to build a picture of the outcome that I want to achieve. And I need to be very aware of my target line and my intermediate target and where I want the ball to start, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to stand behind here. I'm going to get my ball starting, let's say, just on the inside of the green pole there. And I want it to finish where our target line's the blue pole, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I want to get it starting anywhere near the green, finishing somewhere near the blue. I'd be quite happy with that.
Okay. I mean, it started right.
Started right. It was low. It was definitely too thin, right?
So let's say you're going to do a 10-ball set and you hit 6 out of 10, really, really good. And then those other 4 are all like that. Could you go play good golf? Of course you could, but you're probably going to see that thin right one, which is probably the miss you'd see given you're trying to hit it low. You may have shifted too much. Your low point was too far in front. Does that warrant you staying on the range all day? No. I mean, if you would have hit one more good, you probably would have been very happy.
Yeah.
It would be then the next time you go to the range, though, you do have something very objective to work on, is eliminating why under these conditions do I tend to thin right it? And that would be your goal for the day.
Yeah.
Probably not the majority of players would have that. It'd probably be, I hit it too high and I hit it fat. Then that would be theirs. If you hit 7 out of 10, I would say it's not warranted to stay here and go grind on that anymore.
Yeah. So you use that as a reference for your players of when they are going through their practice and working on their games. It's like, okay, so let's say you're working on this low draw. If you can do that 7 out of 10 times within reason, you have a level of proficiency out on the golf course that you can pull it off, because there is always going to be that level of inconsistency because there's so many variables at play. You can do this here, then when you're out on the course, the ball's slightly below your feet off a muddy lie.
Yeah.
You've just got to manage those and go like, as a general reference, you can pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as players, whether we're going to play Saturday morning or we're going to tee it up in a junior event or a pro event, we want to know likely what's going to happen. And so doing training drills like this that create some trust or predictability, I think are big separators with how someone shows up prepared. But let's say that you can't get 7 out of 10. You either have to fix it or you have to basically avoid hitting that shot because you don't know where the ball's going to go.
Yeah.
So then it also helps you prioritize, well, you know what, I'm not ready to go hit this low draw in competition, so I'm just going to stick to my high cut, unfortunately, today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should give you like a catalog of shots I'm proficient enough to then I should be able to go play and play okay. Maybe not my A game, but people can play well with their C game if they're smart.
Yeah. It's interesting because I use the 7 out of 10 reference when it comes to when you're out there playing. Is my level of confidence right now 7 out of 10 or greater to pull this off? And if it's not, it's time to consider a different shot.
Yeah.
So it kind of works as general thumb. More often than not, you're carrying a level of confidence to execute.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, standing here, I would be somewhat happy that I could go out and then produce that sort of low draw. So I'm going to use that out on the golf course. But if I'm doing this and I can't really pull it off and some of them are shanking over there and fatting, I might be better off just getting a little hybrid and chipping it up the fairway because I can do that 7 out of 10 times. Yeah.
That takes a level of self-awareness that someone like you that's played a long time, you know your game. You also have a lot of scar tissue. The amateur golfer or higher handicapper, they may not remember all the bad ones that they've hit. And they think, well, if I hit this good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you do hit it good, it's going to be great. But if it's only a 50-50 proposition, then you may want to look for a different solution.
I think that, I just want to touch on that briefly, is like a lot of the time we find amateur and recreational golfers tend to have rose-tinted glasses of their best shots. I hit a 7-iron once, 160, and now I hit my 7-iron there all the time. I know I can hit a hook once. So then they're in a position and they start trying to pursue shots that are really outside of their current repertoire of capabilities, right? So knowing yourself as a golfer and your ability, going through on the range and using this time not so much just to work on technique, but going and having performance evaluations of, can you hit a low shot with a 6-iron? Can you hit a high shot with a 4-iron? So when you're in that position, you've got to have a big carry over a tree just in front of you. You're not standing up there for the very first time going, I think I can do it. And that would be that would be effective practice.
They have done it before.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. It's like, I know I can.
Yeah.
Yes, you know you can, but will you in this moment is a whole nother question.
Yeah.
If you've done this drill or something like this in your warm-up or a couple days before, you're going to have a little bit more confidence knowing, okay, yes, I can. Or no, I don't have that right now, so I'm just going to hit it short left of the green and try to get up and down.
Yeah. All right.
At the end of the day, whatever golfers say, they want to shoot lower scores. That's what they want. If it's done in a very conservative way versus going for the par 5 and 2, or I'm going to lay up.
Yeah.
If they shoot 4 shots lower, even though in that moment they felt like they maybe laid up or gave up, they're going to be happier at the end of the day because they know that they hit the shot that they should have hit versus trying some hero shot that they don't have.
Yeah. And I would say a lot of the time players' whole ego and identities are based around their score, like what they tell their buddies when they're going back into the clubhouse and they've got the little bets here and there. No one asks, how good was your shot on the 3rd hole randomly. Everyone just asks you, what was your score? Yeah.
Because that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters at every level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hit one more. Let's see if I can pull off this little low draw.
That was better.
That was better.
That was better.
Love it.
Cool.